about to be broken. Team Extreme is back. Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys are here.
In WWE, stars come and go, this is no secret. For years upon years, we have seen guys elevate to the top, drop to the bottom, find frustration, and leave the company. Some start to feel stuck in a position on the card that doesn't seem to grow, others feel their wage does not justify their work and draw. Being on the road 300 days of the year, it's understandable why things like this can reach a boiling point in performers. Especially when WWE does have a habit of thrusting guys who put a minimal effort in top spots, as is the case with Brock Lesnar. Some WWE stars leave the business altogether, usually attempting to make a name for themselves in Hollywood. But then again, not all superstars leave the business on their own accord. Being with the company is like walking on glass, as Vince has proven that he will literally fire anyone for anything, no matter how big the star is and no matter how small the circumstance, just to make an example of them and to show that if you do something like that, you're gone. Some are let go due to poor behavior, others for their performance, and some are sadly just subject to poor storylines that audiences can't connect to, eventually killing their fanfare and getting them kicked to the curb. Regardless, some stars can bounce back after leaving the company, as is the case with Drew McIntyre. He went from being a guy in 3MB to getting fired, which led him to rebuild and rebrand on the indie scene. This led him to eventually becoming the heavyweight champion on Impact. WWE soon signed him back, and McIntyre soon became the NXT Champion. And he now has a big spot on Raw where he's won the tag team titles with Dolph Ziggler, and it looks like Drew's big singles push is on the horizon. So the door to WWE is always open, as long as they can see the dollar signs in you. Brock Lesnar literally sued Vince and got rehired down the line. Whether they have been fired or left the company on a sour note or non-sour note, here are 5 superstars who WWE may soon bring back. Cody Rhodes is the son of the late Great American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and also the brother of Goldust. Cody's run in the WWE was mixed with valleys and pitfalls. He won the tag team titles 5 months after debuting alongside veteran Hardcore Holly. Rhodes would then betray Holly and teamed with Ted DiBiase, who stole that same tag team gold. The duo of Rhodes and DiBiase soon allied with Randy Orton to form Legacy. Rhodes is a multi-time tag team champion, holding the gold with various partners like the ones mentioned, as well as Damien Sandow, Drew McIntyre, and his brother Goldust. Despite being great in the ring and having awesome angles, things started to dwindle for Cody when he was forced into the character of Stardust. Though Cody immediately fell into the character and developed believable mannerisms that worked well on screen, Stardust wasn't that greatly received, and Cody also probably felt like he was just being kind of shoved into his brother's character. After getting lost in the shuffle with Stardust, Cody requested and was granted his release. Now Cody is a top star in the indies and is a former Ring of Honor World Champion. He's also gone on the record and said that he makes more money on the indies than he ever did with WWE, and he recently promoted his own pay-per-view called All In, featuring some of the biggest indie stars, and the event was positively received. Considering all of Cody Rhodes' accomplishments outside of WWE, as well as his newfound ability to handle things on the back end, it's almost certain that WWE will try to bring him back into the company, but if they do, it won't be cheap for them. John Morrison had one of the most unique wrestling styles in WWE. He blended traditional in-ring competition with parkour, which led to some really flashy and cool looking moves. He won the Tough Enough 3 competition, which eventually led into Morrison becoming a 3-time Intercontinental Champion, ECW World Champion, and a 5-time Tag Team Champion. In 2011, after a very successful WWE run, Morrison left the company due to an injury. When his contract was up, WWE wanted to re-sign him for 3 more years, but Morrison turned down the offer to have more control over his schedule, eventually moving into the indies where he performed for promotions such as Lucha Underground, Lucha Libre, AAA, and currently performs with Impact. Morrison is still as good in the ring as he ever was, and considering he is currently a contestant on the extremely popular reality show Survivor, Morrison's chance of bringing new fanfare into sports entertainment will raise his stock for a company like WWE tremendously. AJ Lee is a 3-time Divas Champion, a tying record that will now never be broken. For a long time, AJ was also the longest reigning Divas champion before the record was surpassed by Nikki Bella. AJ wasn't the traditional diva, especially for her time. She lacked size and had a very normal vibe to her, as opposed to the dazzle held by her counterparts. Despite this, AJ still got support from the fans and the company, which ultimately led to her success. AJ Lee was put in a tough spot when her then boyfriend, now husband CM Punk, was caught in a whirlwind of bad blood within the company. Punk abruptly left the company, and not long after, AJ Lee retired from wrestling as a whole. In her 2017 memoir, she stated her partner's issues with the company, as well as the discovery of permanent damage to her cervical spine, were the reasons for her retirement. She also felt she reached all the goals she wanted to attain. It's hard to say that AJ would be in the ring if she returned with the newfound information of her injuries, but WWE would surely find her a spot if she was open to it. She has acted as Raw GM in the past. Maybe an on-screen authority role could be in her future if she returns. It seems like everybody wants CM Punk to come back. He was as great on the mic as he was in the ring, and the edgy, rugged, give-no-dams attitude made him a perfect heel, as well as an anti-hero. To this day, chants of CM Punk can be heard echoing across WWE arenas. It would take a lot to bring him back, as he has a stubborn head on his shoulders. But could you imagine if CM Punk got back in the ring with the recently returned Daniel Bryan, or had the ultimate dream match with the likes of AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura? As painful as it is to say, Punk's MMA career has been lackluster, suffering 2 brutal losses in the UFC octagon. Sure, this kind of thing takes time, but we all know Punk belongs in a wrestling ring. We all want him to come back, and surely the higher-ups would welcome him back with open arms. At this point, it's all in the hands of Punk, and we can only hope that he makes his return sooner rather than later. And our pick for the #1 spot is, of course, the big guy, Ryback! I'm just kidding, it's not Ryback. Hulk Hogan could still be the overall biggest star to ever step into a WWE ring. During the 1980s, he was it. He was the guy, an equivalent to a real-life Superman. Everyone loved Hogan. He was the ultimate babyface, and WWE knew it. You couldn't blink an eye without seeing Hogan's face on some billboard or TV commercial or magazine hanging on a rack. He was the leader of the 80s wrestling boom and has, to his credit, done some incredible things not only for the company but for pro wrestling as a whole. After leaving WWE, Hogan turned a whole new leaf when he finally, after a decade of being a good guy, turned to the dark side and formed the genre-defying NWO, which eventually led to the resurgence of wrestling with an edge. Though many in the industry don't like Hogan, no one can deny his effect on the sport of pro wrestling. His accolades were recognized when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, an induction that would later be revoked. Wait, what? That's right, Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest stars in wrestling history, had his Hall of Fame accreditation removed after a public reveal of his leaked sex tape. Cheating on his wife is not what got the Hulkster into hot water. However, in the footage, Hogan expressed a strong distaste in his daughter Brooke developing a career in rap music and the idea of her sleeping with black men. Putting things lightly, Hulk can be heard using the N-word repeatedly in the video, which brought shock and awe to the entire universe. The action resulted in a huge downfall for Hogan. He lost his Hall of Fame credits, Toys R Us stopped carrying his toys, he was cut from the future WWE video games, and pretty much anything that was linked to him was dropped. While some stars such as Mark Henry and Booker T disapproved of Hogan's actions, other African Americans such as Dennis Rodman, Kamala, and Virgil stepped up to swear that Hogan was not truly a racist, and was just perhaps caught in a fit of anger, lacking control for his words. Hogan sued the website Gawker, who originally published the footage, and was awarded a little over $200 million for the damages done. Now that things have settled, Triple H has already expressed that he would be open to allowing Hulk Hogan back into the WWE, and as of recently, Hogan has been reinstated back into the Hall of Fame. Could the Hulkster be making a grand return to the ring? If so, how will he be perceived? Will the WWE Universe welcome him back with open arms, or will they boo him for his unaccepting ways? Would you be happy if WWE allowed Hogan back into the company? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And these are 5 stars WWE might bring back. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and as always, I will see you later with more videos.